Hello, Internet. My name is Chamomile,
And I'm Requiem.
and we're playing World of Horror without sound because
Yeah,
Discord streams and Max hate each other ferociously.
yes, apparently.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, World of Horror is an early access game on Steam. It's sort of a combination between H.P. Lovecraft and why can I not remember that guy's name? The Uzumaki guy, the Japanese horror manga guy.
Like, I can see manga panels in my mind's eye. Like, I know exactly who you're talking about, but
We're both blanking on this. This is embarrassing.
I mean, I rarely keep track of creators' names. I should have looked it up for this. Like,
Junji Ito.
sure.
This is essentially a Lovecraft and Junji Ito mashup, with some elements of Japanese urban legends and folklore. It's a pretty interesting combination of the two. There's a little bit of you can see a little bit of Lovecraft influence in some of Ito's work. It's not super explicit, and I don't know how influential Lovecraft is in Japan and Japanese horror. You'll see him reference sometimes the Japanese video games. I know a couple of great old ones pop up in Persona, and there's the anime that takes the great old ones and turns them into cute anime girls, which is probably the closest we'll ever get to Lovecraft's image, his vision of how his world should be.
Right. that is. I feel like that anime happened when whoever the creator is, I have no idea, got on the internet one day, read a Japanese BuzzFeed article about look at these, top 11 weird things that Americans think about Japan. Number 7 will blow your mind. And after he got to the end of that article, he was just like, I'm going to lean into every one of these stereotypes all at once.
I did find there's a short story by a Japanese horror author. Was not able to get a hold of a copy of it in English before the recording. That is essentially it's a pretty standard Lovecraftian story set in Japan, except the evil cult, the evil great old worshipping cult, is the Christian missionaries at St. Francis Xavier, and he secretly worships Cthulhu, which I think is an interesting spin on the Lovecraft mythos, which has these sort of xenophobic undertones.
Yeah.
Sort of a weird mirror image of it. But is essentially it's this reversal of it, but it's very true to the text of Lovecraft's work, because it's still that xenophobia.
Right. It's like the cult is the outsider. Whoever, regardless of what side you're on, they're the ones from out of that side.
The weird foreigner and their alien gods.
Yeah.
That's Lovecraft. It's just a different context.
It's if you're American or European and you go to a foreign land, then you start worshiping Cthulhu. That's what you do when you're a foreigner.
Right. So, I guess we might as well get started.
Yeah.
All right. They give you options for sort of starter, for your first time playing. I don't think they're really worth going through at this point.
So yeah, we're doing basically we might get 2 or 3 episodes out of this. We're doing this in one recording session, however many episodes we get. To say, because this is a beta game.
Yeah.
And just seeing that screen, my immediate thought is that, I want there to be a lot more scenarios than just that. I don't even know how the game plays, but just immediately so each each scenario is like somehow tied to a specific Japanese urban legend or, you know, Lovecraft story or weird horror manga, like, I would be down for that. And again, like, I have no idea if that would even work.
Set in Shiokaba, Japan in 1980X. I don't know if there's any like specific Japanese 80s references in the game. It's the sort of thing that, like, as an American, I'm not gonna see. But
Yeah.
there probably are. The developer is Polish.
There's a version of this stream where we have the resources to go and find an actual Japanese person who would know these things, but you're not in that timeline. You're in one of the worst timelines. So
Yeah.
Instead, you get two Americans who like horror in general. I have to say, I'm liking the visuals, like, you know, random lady with an X for a face.
Yep.
Like, especially as just like a, you know, like on one screen, that's not even a big deal. That's just, you know, something you toss in.
Alright, so now we get to pick our character and some other stuff. So we can be Kiri, to be Eiko, Haru, who was Yakuza, Mizuki, who was an idol.
I like Mizuki's thing where she's like, what a strange world we live in where, you know, in order to get ahead in the music industry, I'm trying to thwart an ancient evil seeking to devour the world.
So
I like that
she's
motivation.
I mean, that's basically the motivation of every pop star. I mean, if you want to be in the entertainment industry, you basically have to fight ancient evils.
Not sacrifice children to them.
I mean, that
Thought
too.
that Yeah, I was pretty sure that most people in Hollywood had done at least a few child murders to Cthulhu to get there.
Kuji, Mimi, who's a medical student.
Finally, a
And-
way to put into practice everything you've learned so far. I would not anticipate most. It's like, you know, a doctor comes to this doomed town. It's like full of injured and sick people. And they're just like, hooray!
There's Miku, who is a rioter. There's one more character who I haven't unlocked yet. For this game, I'm going to suggest that we play Eiko for two reasons. Number one, I feel like she's the strongest character. But also, she is a final girl, which is an interesting concept to talk about.
Oh, so her thing, she was the final girl in some kind of drowned ghost slasher flick, and now... Is that the idea?
Yeah,
That is neat.
and there's a mystery that she can potentially get, that she gets special stuff in. We might not get that mystery because they're randomized, because
Right.
it is a roguelike. You can
Which
also
roguelike
choose
horror is a very strange combination to me, but
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
You can also choose a background. The standard one is World of Horror, which has no effect, and we'll probably end up using that one. You also could do medical history, Hunted by the Cults, The Seventh Curse, and Ill-Fated. But probably go for just World of Horror. And we should probably do our difficulty. So Initiate is easy, Cultist is hard, True Believer is... Actually, I think True Believer is hard. Initiate's easy, Cultist is normal.
So, yeah. You know, whatever you think
want
you can
to-
handle while also having, you know, someone yammering in your ear and...
Let's go for Initiate.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that... I mean,
extra.
I feel no shame in taking low difficulty options while doing a stream.
Yeah, we're gonna go for the easy option then. Right.
Just because, yeah, you're going to be distracted. Now is not the time to be, trying to challenge yourself, trying to push your limits.
Right, we're gonna do classic mode. He's planning on doing like a scenario mode eventually, and there's also endless mode, which is you just get to do mysteries, not mysteries. You get to do like to explore the town endlessly. And now we get to pick out our great old one. So we have Kathak Atarasu, who is basically Athel Nadich.
Spiders are cool.
Itho2, the Devouring Fire, who I don't know if he's a specific reference to anything. As Yolothoth, the Towering Eye, who is very blatantly Hellstar Rebina.
Clearly.
And Goiza, the Thing Forsaken by God, who is a reference to a Japanese horror movie from the 80s.
So at least a couple of these are public domain Lovecraft gods that are nevertheless renamed.
Yeah, personally I'm like okay with that because it gives you a little, not directly referencing it, gives you a little flexibility and like putting your own spin on it. Like people have expectations for when you say something is Cthulhu that aren't even necessarily true to like what is actually in Lovecraft.
That's true. Like, people expect Cthulhu to be invincible, despite being canonically invincible and vinced.
He's vulnerable to boats.
Yes.
Or like people thinking that something is in the Lovecraft mythos is like unreproachably evil when it's supposed to be sort of much more ambiguous.
Right. It's apparently people's frail mortal minds actually do recoil in horror at the creatures of the Lovecraft mythos.
I will one day make an argument that Cthulhu should be chaotic good in Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, that involves interacting with the Dungeons and Dragons alignment system, so I cannot follow you down that path.
I will go mad from the revelations. Of these four, I feel like Athiolthath is the easiest because spells aren't that great, so you can just not use spells. But, we'll see.
That translation could use a bit of work. Casting spells costing reason increases doom instead.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I know what it means, but I had to think about it for a bit.
It needs a little bit of work on the English localization. And
So this is a Polish developer, right?
yeah, he's Polish.
Well, I don't speak Polish or Japanese, but hey, buddy, ring me up and I will write in an English localization based on my best guess, given the images. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
This is an option you get from getting achievements in the game. You can customize aspects of the city. It's not... I guess at some point you're going to have 4 options for every location. Currently, there's just a couple that you can actually customize. So I'm not going to change it a lot. Just unlock the illegal den and seaside.
So in downtown, we have what looks like a dog-run small business.
Yep.
And what I assume has to be some kind of specialty kink fetish store.
I mean, what else would you call a police station?
Over at the school. The school comes pre-supplied with an outdoors, which is very good. And also, they offer a class on Eldritch Abominations, so pretty standard 1980s curriculum there. In the forest, we have a slightly deformed cat. So, over at the seaside, we can see that the seaside does have a seaside. And also a guy who's camera shy. At the apartments, we have what I assume is just our little brother standing outside our apartment door all the time forever. The hospital sees a guy with quite a tan outside, who's just considerably darker than every other character. And then at the home, which is not the apartments. So at our home, we have, I mean, I can't even tell what that's supposed to be. I guess, is that a TV on a, yeah, or maybe a picture? I give up. It's our home, I guess. Our home is an incomprehensible, non-Euclidean hellscape. But at the apartments is nevertheless where we leave our little brother. He gets to sit outside the door of a random apartment. So yeah, this all seems pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and just confirm and continue.
Yep. All right. We can. There's a lighthouse.
Like, I'm serious, Dev. Call me. I'm nailing what this game is about without even reading the text.
Probably nothing bad going in here. It's locked for some reason. Probably not important.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you usually put multiple padlocks on something where a lot of good things have happened.
Nothing in our mailbox. And now Aiko is going to do a stream for us. Watch some local Japanese news. There's a ramen shop with ramen that can cure any health problem. That probably won't come up in the game at all. Sure, everything is fine.
A ramen shop where it can cure any health problem. That is definitely the only unusual thing in that news report. Nothing else notable in that. If you're listening to this as a podcast, then don't worry. Absolutely nothing else weird about this ramen shop was explained in this stream that Aiko is doing for us.
It's also a pop-up shop. It just appears once a year in an alleyway. That's not weird. I mean, it's almost Halloween here. We'll get the Spirit Halloween stores soon. They just pop up. They're not a cult in any way.
Occasionally sell ramen that can cure any health problems.
Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 random mysteries to choose from, and we're going to investigate them. And after we complete 5, nothing happens. This is basically a slice of life game, you know. It's like a Iran High School Host Club, you know.
Yeah, that's sort of the vibe I was getting from the intro and everything.
It's we're just gonna have some random events that an 18-year-old Japanese schoolgirl would experience in her normal life. Right, so we can do the alarming account of abnormal arms, freaky feature of found footage, macabre memoir of morbid mermaids, sorrowful saga of the Moonlight Sailors, and vicious verses of a violent vigil.
I like how she's already picked out like tabloid headlines for all of them.
Personally, I say we'd go with account of abnormal arms.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who knows how to play the game, so I will trust to your expertise.
Yeah, nothing worrisome about that. Woman
I mean,
next door was
household accidents are a common thing, you know? Sometimes someone is accidentally strangled to death in her bed with no signs of forced entry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing to worry about. So, and we've got to get ready for anime school anyways, so. right.
Wait, isn't this the woman who lives next door? Didn't it say that she lives next door to us?
Yes.
Why do we have to get the apartment plan to compare it with other flats? Like, we live in a flat. Shouldn't it have the same layout?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe the flats in Japan are different in each floor or something.
So the guy who built this apartment was just a serious overachiever. He used a different floor plan for every single apartment.
Yes. So I'm gonna go, let's go to the hospital.
By the way, I noticed that we've learned a new spell, which we've decided we're not going to rely on very much, but nevertheless, the spell we learned, apparently just for looking at the weird mysteries around town, was skin removal.
Yeah. I'm sure that's fine.
I guess that's just, no, that makes sense. It's just something that Aiko learned in her Eldritch Occult Abomination class at school. That makes sense.
It's
That's
anime
where she learned
school. It's anime school, so.
Right, yeah. Yeah, some of the art therapy filled us with dread. I'm just imagining one of them just has painted onto a canvas, "You are definitely going to die."
You find yourself in an old, unused part of the hospital. Oh, we're in the mortuary. Now, I'm the one playing the game, but I think it's more fun when we get these choices if you make the choice of what we do.
That's fair, because you already know how all this goes, right?
So how the game works, I think there's a dice roll based on your stats. I don't know exactly. It's got something to do with your stats, and the choices are connected to a different stat. So whether you succeed or fail is based on a stat. But still, it's more fun if the person who doesn't know anything makes the choice. So we're in a mortuary.
So the stats here are strength, dexterity, perception, knowledge, charisma, and Fnord?
Yeah, Fnord.
Right. Okay, and like, if you pick one of these, we do not generally get to go back and pick another, right?
No.
Okay.
You see the event once.
Just because, my immediate instinct is, let's go ahead and search all of these things. It feels like we could do all of those, particularly if we save the dissection table for last, since that is obviously the one that's going to kill us. But if we can only pick one, then let's skip right to the one that's obviously going to kill us and pull the cloth off the dissection table.
That was a charisma check.
What?
And before we could uncover what's under the cloth, we let out an involuntary scream and ran from the mortuary in terror.
I can buy flipping out and leaving. The involuntary scream feels weird, though. Like, it feels like something that should happen from a jump scare, not from being overpowered by the dread.
Now, from investigating the hospital, we've learned something interesting. They have a specimen with elongated arms and jellified bones, but I'm sure that has nothing to do with the mystery we're investigating.
Yeah, no, we're investigating a mystery that we have preemptively titled The Alarming Account of Abnormal Arms. So I see no way in which weird arms could be relevant.
Let's go ahead and investigate those apartment flats, which are downtown, not at the apartments.
Yeah, we were unable to persuade that cloth to get off of the dissection table. That's too bad. I guess they're using kind of like charisma as also willpower, which...
Yeah, that's the assumption I make.
That's a reasonable combination of skills to have, but that's not a very good name for it.
Yeah. Hey, we're in the cemetery. So what should we do? We don't have a shovel, so we can't hit them in the face with a shovel.
Well, then what are we even doing in the cemetery? So we have fairly good perception. Our charisma is slightly worse. So I'm going to say we should continue looking, because that seems like a run on perception.
You were correct.
Aha! I'm getting the hang of this.
Somebody left a note for us, and it's about a tombstone marked with red string.
That's probably a reference to something.
You know the Japanese have the red string of fate that ties you to your loved ones. But in Slavic folklore, you see red string connected with vampires a lot. So it's not just blood, but the color red is associated with vampires. And we are in a cemetery, so there's kind of you could do a double association of, a red string connecting to your love who is a vampire.
A connection you can only get if you are not only familiar with Japanese culture, but also happen to know where the developer is from.
Yep. Thankfully, I'm neither of those. You know what I think we should do rather than going to the apartment?
Rather than investigate the actual crime scene of the place, that follow up on the one lead the game presented us with.
Yes.
We should instead wander randomly into a hospital and just so happen to find some weird arms.
Yeah, let's go to the hardware store.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, a shovel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a shovel.
This does take place in Japan, so I was gonna ask where the machine gun was, but no, that makes sense.
This isn't America.
Right.
Now let's actually investigate the apartments where the crime took place.
I feel like we've done this in exactly the wrong order. We got the shovel after we went to the cemetery.
Oh, hey, preacher's calling us. What should we do?
We should hang up immediately. Nothing good ever comes from talking to televangelists.
Well, we were shaken up a little bit. The ventilation shafts are kind of oddly placed, but they're too small for anyone to crawl through, so it's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a way that this guy could have gotten in. I mean, in order to get in through those ventilation shafts, this guy would have to have had, like, some kind of weird elongated arms with, like, jellied bones or something, and, I mean, that's clearly ridiculous, so...
Oh, we tripped on the stairs.
Oh god, a homeless guy. The middle class's worst nightmare, being confronted with the poverty of the less fortunate.
Which, you know what? You know what we should do? We should do what the middle class does when confronted with that.
Run away in terror?
Yep.
It's gonna be either that or murder.
Well, it was a ghost, and ghosts are annoying to fight in this game.
And I suppose it's more the upper class that responds to that situation with murder.
Yeah. Alright. Maybe our neighbors will know something about what's going on. So this woman is covered in blood that came out of her shower head. Chamomile, what should we do?
Well, I'm pretty sure calming her down is going to be a charisma check. Oh my god, our Fenord has bottomed out. Like, that has dropped multiple points. Okay, checking the bathroom is, I'm going to guess, either a perception or else a dexterity to avoid, some kind of horror trap. So I'm going to say let's go with check the bathroom.
It was a knowledge check.
A knowledge check.
Instead of blood made us weak. Oh, somebody is missing underwear. I guess we're gonna try to find missing underwear.
Yeah, that's a weird mystery. That's the kind of thing you'd expect from this kind of slice of life anime game, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, someone's going around stealing underwear. What jerk is doing that, right?
Yeah, it's based off of Iran High School Host Club, which is the only slice of life anime I know. And I don't think
Actually,
that is even technically a slice of life anime. I think that's a reverse harem anime.
I've never particularly liked slice of life that much, so I can't help you there.
I have very basic anime tastes.
I guess maybe K-On! Counts?
Never heard of it. It sounds made up.
Yeah, no, I just made it up on the spot. It's hang on, watch me freestyle this. It's an anime about a high school music club who are like a pop band music club, and that's basically it. They're a pop band music. I was hoping to go into more detail to make the I'm making this up off the top of my head bit stick, but it's slice of life, so there's not really any more to it. That's just
like that could be an accurate description of the anime. I have no ability.
Yeah, no, 4 cute girls sit around playing instruments and drinking tea. That's the anime. They made 30 episodes of that.
I guess there was that, wasn't there like a swimming anime?
I'm positive there was.
I think there was also an anime where it was a horse racing anime, but the horses were cute anime girls.
That sounds like a thing that could be real. I can't tell if you're fucking with me.
That's actually one of the mysteries we're going to investigate during this game.
Whether or not that anime exists.
Whether that anime exists. Like, when we hit the 40-minute mark, we do the break, somebody's going to be doing some Googling. Right, I guess let's try to find this person's missing underwear.
That's a very normal thing to do. It's like, yeah, I heard someone was missing their underwear. I'm going to go looking for it.
Oh, hey, somebody gave us some money in a envelope. Somebody is watching us. We have a secret admirer.
Yeah, normally being watched isn't a good thing, but this one is giving us money, so I'm okay with it.
And for totally unrelated reason, our food went up.
We're getting better at seeing the Fenords.
Some weird noises are coming from the vent. It's probably like rats or something, right?
Yeah, generally speaking, when you hear a weird noise in a video game, it is always either a rat or the wind. This is doubly true if you have recently been shot or stabbed.
Dark forces are... Oh, we get a curse. Fun. Wonder what our curse is. Oh, we have holes. Holes are appearing all over our body.
Oh, good.
Oh, we're turning into...
Yeah, we're turning into Jane Prentice. This is fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. This game is set in the Magnusverse. It's a slice of life anime set in the Magnusverse.
I feel like this may impact your swimming career, Aiko.
Well, for everybody who's listened to the Magnus Archives, things ended really well for Jane Prentice. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. She ended up in a place where she felt safe and loved, and and very warm. So.
For those of you wondering, the Magnus Archives podcast, it's basically a podcast version of a slice of life anime.
Yeah. I definitely strongly recommend it. It's the best slice of life anime podcast.
a lot of pleasant things happen. There's nothing ever to worry about.
Yeah, Magnus being the Latin word for great, so it's an archive of great things that happen.
Yeah. So here's a question. So what is unnerving about that? The holes?
I mean, I don't like the idea of having holes in my hands. I use those for things.
But they're not in your hands, are they?
Are they not?
I mean, you're not literally Eiko. Or you?
Well, okay, no, but I mean, I have a sympathetic connection with the character. It's unnerving because I imagine the idea of holes appearing in my hands.
So if you saw somebody with holes in their body, you would worry about contagion, maybe?
Pretty much, yeah. It would be like, that seems like a disease, and it's a disease I don't want.
Yeah. So you've probably heard of the Uncanny Valley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For listeners, the Uncanny Valley, I wonder if I should explain the concept of the Uncanny first, and then explain the Uncanny Valley.
I know, the Uncanny Valley is pretty well known. I don't know if we even have to go over it.
Yeah.
Google
But,
it. You're watching this on
Google it.
YouTube, pause it and Google it, if you don't know.
That's sort of another attempt of explaining what Sigmund Freud attempted to explain, why things in literature are unsettling. But you can think of like that's like a pretty clear, like if you saw somebody with holes in their face, you could make the assumption that it's a disease. It's unsettling because you fear infection, you fear contagion. But if you saw like an animate mannequin, that would be unsettling too. The Uncanny Valley would say, well, it's a form of the walking corpse, it's a form of disease. Freud had like a different explanation for why things were kind of unsettling.
Because
that'd be
mannequins
more-
don't have penises, which makes us fear the loss of penises.
I mean, that would be an explanation. I don't want to say that would not be Freud's explanation, because it's Freud and it's all about the dicks. But another way to think of like the mannequin of like a person who is off is that they're a double. They're a representation of the soul, and the soul is a memento mori. It's a form of the corpse. You see a mannequin or a creepy doll, it's a double. I've always thought it might be like connected to like disassociation. It puts pressure on your concept of yourself to see something that is you but is also not you. It's a form of abjection, is the term that gets used.
I mean, my immediate thought with the mannequin is, here is something that is not me but is trying to look like me.
Yeah, that's objection. That's a concept from.
But I will admit I don't know exactly what objection means, but it's like, it's not like some kind of introspective fear. It's like, this thing can't have good intentions, right?
Yeah.
It's trying to pass itself off as, one of my kind, but it's clearly not. It's trying to lie to me.
It's like that one. There's one SCP. I don't remember the name or the number, but where doubles, like sort of like human simulacra, keep trying to get into like congresses and like the United Nations and like the House of Parliament, and they like look like they're approximately human, but they can't really talk correct, and they keep getting better, and like you never get explained like what they're doing or why, but it's sort of this. It can't be good.
Right. Especially when they're going to very important locations, like, these things clearly have some kind of design in our government.
It's actually another sort of like literary concept that I could get into that might explain that specifically, but I don't know if that is that worth talking about.
I'm probably not immediately on top of the...
Yeah. we
You
can
know,
get
we
into
want
it. I don't need
to
to.
get some kind of
I
ratio
don't.
between the gameplay and the.
The literary
If you're not
criticism.
here for the literary discussion, you're watching the wrong video. But
Yeah. Let's
nevertheless,
see
yeah.
where all the vents connect. I'm sure it's fine. Oh hey, somebody's trying to get in. That's I don't remember ordering anything. Oh hey, it's our friend.
Is
This
this?
is fine.
Well, is this? Have we seen this guy before?
I know, but like we did get a note with some money and saying that they were watching us, and we have that red string connecting us to somebody. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, no, this is.
let's thank them by kicking their ass.
I feel like this guy's probably into that.
I do have my shovel for a reason.
This guy feels like he's probably the sort of person who's into being beaten with a shovel.
Yeah, and we did successfully beat him. That's the good news. The bad news is we do have a concussion. I'm sure that's fine. And he dropped something. Oh, hey, a baseball bat.
So this guy just showed up and tried to kill us with a baseball bat?
Yes, it's fine. We killed them. It's another strength item.
It's weird. This guy gave us Fenords, and then when he shows up, he immediately tries to murder us with a baseball bat.
He might have just been trying to knock us unconscious.
That's true. If so, he doesn't really know how, brain damage works, but...
All right,
Like, I'm willing to buy that this lunatic doesn't know that hitting someone on the head repeatedly with a baseball bat will kill them.
I guess let's check out that boiler room.
That always goes well in slice of life anime.
That is interesting. That appears to be somebody's arm, and pictures of people in compromising positions.
If this is just a weird guy with superpowers running a blackmail scam, I want that to be the solution here.
I mean, I guess there's one way to find out. Check the vent. I don't think there's anything in here. That's weird. Well, I guess we can just leave, right?
Yeah. The specific way you phrased that made me, oh god, how could I have seen this work coming?
Also, we had a
You
tiny
almost
key in
fall
his
to the
mouth.
ground. Aren't we in a vent?
Well, there is like a open shaft, so
Oh, so he's just already dead. So,
well, mystery solved.
yeah, so cool. I was worried there would actually be, a living murderer that we would have to, with stretchy arms, that we would have to do something about. But yeah, no, this was just, we could have just stayed home.
Yeah. I mean, that resolved itself, so yeah. He was the building caretaker, and he had underwear and voice of the tenants. So, well, I'm sure that's fine.
So why did he kill someone?
I don't know. Maybe they saw him, and he was probably trying to cover up a witness.
Yeah, I guess that, yeah, someone saw the arms, and...
Well, so everything is fine. The mystery's been resolved. Everything's going to go back to normal, and we can get back to our slice of life anime.
So yeah, that is about the end of the episode. So tune in next time when, we'll probably just like go visit a friend, watch a movie, like maybe go to the beach,